Hi. So today I wanted to discuss a little bit about, well, just some random thoughts I was having and some issues that are occurring throughout our general world, I should say, rather than, well, anything else other than what God intended. So I don't know if you guys know this, but my ex, Crystal, she has had a serious run-in with vehicle trouble, and I'm going to help her out any way that I can, but I can't do it alone. So my question to all of you, I suppose, would be to the effect that I wonder if any of you could help possibly offer some assistance to her, because the situation for her is rather dire, at least at least this point in time. So either way, those are my thoughts for now. So she just needs a little bit of money to help her stay in a hotel room until the truck is ready or until repairs are finished. And that's about all I can say about that. I had hoped that I would have enough money to help cover some of the repairs and hotel stay, but I can only do one or the other. There's not too much I can do in the way of even helping out for a hotel stay, but 1 or 2 days extra hotel stay would be, inordinately helpful for her. So she has today, which is Friday, Saturday and Sunday, possibly Monday or Tuesday, that she would need to stay in a hotel room, and it costs about $90 a day. So it's expensive. So with that being said, I wanted to try and appeal to your best interest and your human heart to maybe, possibly, get her a little bit of help and maybe help her get some hotel stay, at least a couple more days, to get her to Tuesday or Wednesday next week. That should be enough time to get the car finished and maybe even get it back out of the repair shop, depending on how much it costs to fix it. So I'm not sure what we can do by the way of donations to her, but I know that contacting her and putting the money, doing a Walmart to Walmart style transaction would probably be ideal. And her Walmart location is the one that's in Hawthorne, California, or Los Angeles, but the area is Hawthorne. So if you can, contact her to donate any money you wish. I would say $10 would be fine, but I would urge you to go a little further, maybe 15 or 20, possibly even 30 if you can. I know it's right after Christmas and everyone's probably spent out, but I do want to try and help her get off the street for the time being, to get back in the truck once it's finished with repairs. So the goal is about 85 to 90. Well, I know that $93 or $95 gets her a hotel stay in the cheapest hotel in Los Angeles, at least one night. So we need about $93 to $95 a day for the next 4 days. So that would be right in the neighborhood of around $400 to $415, $420. Now, if enough of us help out, she can actually do this, and she can actually get a hotel stay. Now, if I can, spread my money around to donate, whether I pay for repairs or not, I could take care of one entire day's hotel stay or help pay for some of the repairs. So my goal is to at least get her some hotel stay money so I can help out with repairs. So with that being said, I want people to know that she needs help getting money for the hotel stay. So if there are anyone that wants to donate, if there's anyone out there that wants to donate to her cause to help her get money for the hotel stay, contact her through Facebook. It's Crystal Whitmire. Contact her through Facebook and proceed to donate Walmart to Walmart. You can go to any local Walmart before the Money Center closes at 8 p.m., wherever you're at, 8 or 7 or 8 or 9, depending on your location, and send the money to the Walmart location using her phone number and the address of the Walmart in Hawthorne, California. It's easy to look up on Google. It takes about 5 minutes. And that again is even, 15, 20 bucks would be sufficient if enough of us do it, because it would only take 4 donations to cover one hotel stay of 20 bucks. So, that would at least cover most of it, so that whatever's left we could work with. So if enough of you help out, she don't have to spend the night on the street. That would be great. Now, I know there's a lot of this stuff going around about people being invisible, and a lot of stuff going around about the homeless folks. Now, I don't know if you have caught up with my story or stayed with us through this entire podcast or my podcast here on YouTube, but I have also been homeless since January. January 3rd. Well, actually, since February 3rd, we've been in California. So it's been since January, middle of January. February 3rd, we hit the state line and we were in California. We were homeless in LA, mostly because of jobs that we had lined up that didn't work out. So there again, the situation for her is serious. She needs help, and I can't do it alone. So that's why I'm asking my Facebook and YouTube family for help. If you can help her out, donate the money to the Walmart, do a Walmart to Walmart transaction to her account, and she can go pick it up at the Walmart location, receive the money, and then pay for hotel stay between now and next Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the truck is done. So this is a serious time because the damage to the truck was extensive. One of the fan belts broke on the front of the engine. And if you know anything about a GMC Envoy, especially the Denali 4x4 series, the fan in the front does a lot for the engine. It cools it and, keeps the water, the fluids flowing in the engine for cooling purposes, and also cools the radiator and whatever else it cools, the computer. I'm not sure what else it does. I don't know much about cars, but I know it pulls a lot of duty. And with the fan blades being broken off by the belt, the truck overheated rather quickly and lost some fluids in the process. Some hoses came loose and the whole belt was shredded again along with the fan this time. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive, and she also has transmission work to do on it. So it's going to be quite an expensive repair job, I'm sure. But what I want you to understand is that I'm not asking for you to help with the repair job or with, as much money as possible. I'm just asking for at least 15, no less than 15 or, $20, $10 is fine. If you can only donate $10, that's fine. Just contact her to donate it to do a Walmart to Walmart transaction for her so she can pick it up. And this will help her get from point A to point B without having to live on the street. It's already bad enough. It doesn't need to get that bad. So she's already living in the car on the street. So it's already bad. Sleeping on the street would be inordinately worse. So I'm calling on my brothers and sisters in Christ and my brothers and sisters of YouTube and family and brothers and sisters on Facebook to help her out. And again, I'm going to do everything I can. I wouldn't ask you to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So I want to reiterate that and state that it is something I'm seriously considering, helping with the repairs or with a hotel stay. Either way, I can't do both. I can do one or the other. And I am asking for help from the rest of the YouTube family and Facebook family to possibly help her get some money to keep her behind off the street, basically, until the truck is done. That's all. And other stuff, I wanted to cover some different things. I know I had planned to do a cooking show episode today, but in light of recent events, I wanted to try and give it a break for that for now until I have more time or a happier day, I should say, to start out a new show. I just wanted to continue to do things as normal right now, to go with the flow and try to keep people that otherwise are new to the channel aware that if I'm going to do any sort of new channel directions, it will be done probably after the first of the year. I'm looking at maybe next week probably the tail end of next week's before I start doing anything with the cooking channel. Right now, it's just going to be thoughts and word of the day type stuff, like I've been doing usually. So I wanted to try and see if I could gather enough support for her to keep herself off the street. And I mean, I took myself out of the equation to help her food and her fuel last longer without me being there to add to the cost and everything else that would be considered detrimental to the situation. And it's not much better for me here. I mean, I am living with someone, but this is not my home. I don't pay for a thing here. I mean, I'm making this my home, and I'm glad to be here. I'm very thankful to the person I am living with, my significant other, for this location and this time to be together. It's very good for us. But at the same time, it is at the expense of my independence. And I know that it's a very difficult thing to understand why independence matters so much, I guess, but I wanted to answer to a little different of a notion here, that no matter what we do, no matter who we are or where we are in our lives, we can always move closer to God. We can always move closer to what He has intended for our lives. All we have to do is open our eyes and see it. Because the truth is, God hates no one and loves all of you. Even those of you who think that are beyond God's love. It's not possible to do that. It is impossible for you to move away from God's love because His love is everywhere. And anyone that tells you otherwise is a lost and foolish individual, because they themselves are being lied to, are being blinded by the church, that so-called church that worships a cross. Because the cross was not the point of his demise. Jesus was not supposed to die on a cross for anyone's sins. That was not something that God required of him, because God would not send His only Son to die for anyone's sins for a human sacrifice. That's the satanic ritual and a satanic thought, that it requires human sacrifice to cover the blood of sin. Are you insane? I want you to understand that the only sin is hate, and all sin comes from hate. So if you leave your life to chance and to wonder and to express this hate openly, then you get what you pay for. And you get what you deserve, whether you feel like you do or not. But I wanted to reiterate that I love you, each and every single one of you, just in the way God does. There's not a single moment that you're without God's love or beyond His reproach, no matter what you've done in your life, no matter how far you've gone down the other road. You know what I mean, that the chances are that you can be saved are very, very high, versus you never asking forgiveness or never atoning for your sin, never repenting for what you've done. It's very simple. All you do is stop. And all you do is quit what you're doing that hurts others or hurts yourself. Love is the only goal that God had in mind, and the only intention God ever put forward that meant anything to Him or her was love. That's it. Everything else was a convoluted explanation of the justification of the allowance of hate to exist in our world. Because we ate from the tree of knowledge, we took from the tree of knowledge before our time. Before we were understanding or ready to, or mature enough to even understand what the concept of hate was, to have the knowledge of good and evil. Simplification is where it's at. The knowledge of good and evil is synonymous with love and hate. Very simple. You have but one choice, up or down, two options, love or hate. And that's pretty much all it is. And that there's not a reason to convolute it any more than that. Jesus did not die for your sins. He did not nail Himself to a cross so you could do whatever the hell you want. That's not what He did that for. He was punished by Roman law for practicing religious and spiritual acts on the Sabbath, which was against the law in Roman times. And that was the punishment. There was no other purpose for it than that. The very fact that Jesus existed, that Isu came to us, was because he was here to say that this world belongs to the evil one, the enemy. This is his kingdom, his realm, his world, not God's. God created it. God made everything you see and you have around you. But he is not the ruler here because he will not intercede in free will. You have a choice. A choice. And the choice is love or hate. Satan will tell you you don't have a choice, that hate is the only way. Well, I'm afraid not. The only rule that God has is to love all as you would love yourself, as I have loved you, he says. I am that I am. And it's quite simple who God is. It's quite simple to see who God is when you understand those things. The concept of love and hate is very simple to explain, and it's very easy to understand. You don't need the Bible for this explanation. You don't need the rewritten work of the Bible, the King James Version that was built to enslave you. The true message of the Bible was to tell you that love is all you need. And there's no other requisite for God's grace and his blessing than to live with love in your heart and to love others as you would love yourself or have yourself loved. Very simple. It's not a hard thing to understand. Because everything else is cyclical, you can stand to reason and understand it would stand to reason that you can understand God's will for you, that love is cyclical. He loves you as you love him, as you love others, as he loves them. It's quite simple. There's nothing wrong with loving everyone. And it's easy to do that. We just have to implement it and put it into practice. You can't just let things like this go and let things like this happen because your sister or your brother or your mom or your dad, your wife or your husband or your daughter or your son could be in the same position, could be living on the streets in Los Angeles, could be in the very same spot that I was, that she is. And would you let them live on the street if you knew that they had no other place to go? I would hope not. But that's all I can say. I mean, either you will or you won't. I can't force you. All I can do is ask you to, because that's all that God asks you to do, is to love him as you love yourself, or as you should love yourself, to love him, to love yourself, and to love others. That's it. It's very simple. So thank you for your time again. I do want to put an end to this kind of video stream so I don't seem so preachy, but the truth of the matter is it needs to be said, and she does need a lot of help. So I'm just trying to call the corners here, pull my friends together and say, look, we need to do something because this cannot happen. We cannot let this go on because she has no other answer, and we have them all. We can help her, so let's do it. Thank you.